My name is Leia Danica Tirador Aquino, and I am going to be your instructor for this evening class. So, before we begin, I would like to call on Miss Cubio to lead the opening prayer.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Miss Cubio. So, before we proceed, I would like to take attendance. Now, please remember to mute your microphones. And if you have any questions, click on the raise my hand button at the bottom of your screen. If I call on you during attendance, please also click on the raise my hand button. Anahao, Cubio, Dilara, Istomo. Now let's proceed. So we are going to discuss the human digestive system. So we question, what is the human digestive system? We've heard about it, we've heard the term, but we need to dig deeper. What is it? So we know it is a biological part of science because it is a natural process that happens, that is ongoing inside of us every single day. So it is a part of us. We are going to discuss and talk about the objectives. We are also going to talk about the digestive system itself, the organs and their roles, the different digestive system health conditions, and the preventions of how we can prevent these health conditions from occurring. Now, please pay close attention because magtatanong ako. I will be asking questions to assess your understanding of this topic to see if you really paid attention. Now, at the end of this lesson, students will and should be able to indicate all parts of the digestive system. You should be able to analyze the functions of the different digestive organs and discuss the characteristics and treatments of common digestive disorders. So, what is the digestive system? What is it about the digestive system that is very important? Now we will learn about that. The digestive system, it is a process, or rather a network of organs that work together to break down food and convert it into their simplest forms, like glucose, also known as sugars, amino acids such as protein, or fatty acids, also known as fats. Now, these are the building blocks and fuels. Remember, building blocks and fuels that the body needs. Why are these building blocks and fuels? It is because the sugars, protein, fats, and other nutrients, these are what runs our body. It is what fuels us. We are the car and they are the gas. So, it is what is delivered into our bloodstream in order for our cell growth and for our bodies to function. So now the broken down food is then absorbed into the bloodstream from the small intestine, and the nutrients, as I've said, the nutrients are delivered to each cell in the body for cell growth. Now we have different organs. We have 6 organs of the digestive system. We have the liver, we have the gallbladder, we have the pancreas, we have the small intestine, the large intestine, and the rectum. Now we will learn more about these. But what is the importance of the organs? Each organ has a specific and special role in the digestive system. So the each and every part of the digestive system helps to move food and liquid through your GI tract, also known as your gastrointestinal tract, and break food and liquid into smaller parts. So once foods are broken into small bits, your body can absorb and move the nutrients to where they are needed. Without the cooperation of each organ, the digestive system won't be able to fully process foods, and we won't receive the proper nutrients for cell growth. If one of the organs shut down, then that will ruin and disrupt the entire process of the digestive system. So if the organs or one organ shuts down, the food will not be able to be digested properly. Now, everyone, please take note, ha. The first stage of the digestive system is the mouth. It is the mouth. So, when you eat your food, your teeth chew food into small pieces. So, pagkain mo lang daan sa food, dyan na mag-start yung digestive system process. Why? Because the glands in your cheeks and under your tongue, they produce saliva that coats the food. So, may laway. Napansin nyo, pag kumakain kayo ng pagkain, may parang basa yung kinakain nyo. Why? Of course, because yung laway natin, nagpo-produce siya, so nababasa yung pagkain natin. It forms a bolus, which is it is a squishy ball or a moist lump of food. So, the saliva also contains enzymes that digest carbohydrates in food. So again, it contains enzymes that digest carbohydrates in food. Now, carbohydrates is it's a nutrient that we need in our body. So let's proceed to the second. The second stage of the digestive system is the esophagus. It is a long tube that carries food from the mouth to the stomach after it is swallowed. So the esophagus connects the mouth to the stomach. There is a ring of muscle at the end of the esophagus, at the very end of the esophagus. There is a ring of muscle. It allows the food to enter the stomach. So it is like a door. Once the food musulod siya sa stomach, di na siya pwede mubalik sa esophagus. So the ring of muscle, it prevents the food from entering back into the esophagus. Now, there's something wrong with that if it does. Now, we will learn about that later on throughout this presentation. Basta, ang esophagus is a long tube. It connects the mouth to the stomach. We have the stomach. Now, the stomach, it is a bean-shaped organ. It breaks down food with liquid, also known as gastric acids. So it is where chemicals are starting to, food is turned into chemicals. Chemicals are being produced. Then we have the small intestine. The small intestine of an adult is around, remember this ha, kasi you might get asked about it. It is 5 meters long and made up of many bends and folds. Now, as you can see, di ba kumakain naman kayo ng straight food? So, there are intestines, di ba? I know it's a little weird, but just think about that. The intestines, no intestine is straight. All intestines are curved. They're not straight, but they're curved. Now, since it is called small intestine, we know that the small intestine, they are small in size. So it is a passage, just like the esophagus, that is a narrow passage. The small intestine, it is a passage that allows proteins, fatty acids, sugars, vitamins, and minerals to pass through its wall and into the bloodstream. So instead of food, this time it's the nutrients that pass through muagi siya sa small intestine in order to get into our bloodstream. Then we have the large intestine, also known as the colon. So the large intestine, it absorbs water, minerals, and vitamins. Now, the undigested fiber is mixed with mucus and bacteria. We have good bacteria, but we also have bad bacteria. So now this bacteria and mucus, again, it breaks down some of the fiber to keep the large intestine healthy. So remember this, to keep the large intestine healthy. So that means it is good because it is breaking down some of the fiber, the undigested fiber. Now we have the rectum. So the rectum is an 8-inch, remember, it is an 8-inch chamber that connects the colon, aka large intestine, to the anus. So the rectum receives stool from the colon. It sends signals to the brain if there is stool to be evacuated or disposed, and holds stool until it can properly leave the body as a bowel movement. So think about this. The large intestine is connected to the anus through the rectum, but the rectum is the waiting shed, or it is the pouch that holds your feces, also known as your stool. So the stool muagi siya sa large intestine, but once it reaches the rectum, the stool dyan lang siya magponder. The stool will ponder in the rectum, and once the rectum receives the stool from the large intestine, mag-send siya ng signal sa brain. So there are times na iisipin natin, ay, parang kalibangon ko. Why? Because we're getting signals na kalibangon ta, there is stool to be disposed of. So while hindi pa nag-dispose ng ang stool, doon siya mag-ponder doon siya let's just say in our words, tambay sa rectum. So how does the stool release from our body? Through the anus. The anus is an opening where the stool will be released. So remember, rectum is a waiting shed. Anus is the door kung saan lalabas yung stools natin. we have a diagram here. I have a diagram to present so you get a better understanding. The mouth is, of course, here. You know what a mouth is, diba? At the very top. Then we have the esophagus, which is this long tube here. As you can see, it connects the mouth to the stomach. Then we have the stomach, which is a bean-shaped organ here, where the food is being broken down. It's gonna start breaking down. Excuse me. Then we have the small intestines, which is the little. It is the little swervy organs all crowded up here. Then we have the large intestine, which is this huge passage here. It surrounds these small intestines. So para siyang gate or wall that blocks the small intestine. Now it is connected to the recta, to the anus. Let's learn about the different digestive system conditions. We have the gastroesophageal reflux. I can't pronounce that properly, but it is the gastroesophageal reflux, also known as GORD. Now the stomach content travels back up the esophagus from the stomach. Remember, the stomach content travels back up back up the esophagus from the stomach. So it may cause a burning sensation in the chest or throat since it is acidic. So diba I said that the content sa stomach, once umabot siya sa stomach, hindi na siya pwede bumalik sa esophagus. So if bumalik siya sa esophagus going up, it's traveling up, there's a problem. That means you have gastroesophageal reflux, also known as GORD. So once the content from the food travels down your esophagus, doon lang siya stomach, pababa, hindi pataas. Pero since nabali siya here, it means that there is abnormality or there is something wrong. Now it is going to cause a burning sensation because acidic na siya, since it has already met with your stomach. It is being turned into chemicals. It is already acidic. Then we have stomach ulcers, also known as peptic ulcers. These can be found in the stomach or the upper part of the small intestine. These are caused by bad bacterium now we know, called Helicobacter pylori, also known as H. pylori. These are found in the stomach, again, in the stomach or the upper part of the small intestine. Of course, that is where it got its name, stomach ulcers. Then we have the hemorrhoids. The hemorrhoids are itchy or painful lumps of swollen veins in and around the anus. Now, these can cause bleeding and pain. I won't get anywhere into that, but basta ano siya, itchy or painful lumps of swollen veins. Now, these are very uncomfortable symptoms, diba? So this is why it is very important to take care of our health. Now, you can prevent these digestive system conditions by losing weight if you are overweight or obese. It is not healthy to be too overweight or to be too malnourished. Just sakto lang in the middle. So make sure you also follow a balanced diet. Again, it should be a balanced diet in the middle, not too sweet, but not too like basta. You should follow a diet na where you're healthy, a diet that suits you actually. You should also drink water and avoid sugary drinks and alcohol because actually our body requires a lot of water every day. We must always stay hydrated. Then you should also aim for 30 minutes of exercise, of physical activity every day. It is important to not only lay around. I know may mga tamad na people, but you should get up and you should exercise for at least 30 minutes, at least the most. And you should also stop smoking because it is also bad for those with asthma or those with heart problems, especially since it will affect the lungs. Okay, may I please call on everyone to open their mics? How is everyone doing? Did everyone understand? How is everyone right now? We are going to do an activity. So I will call on people to answer these questions to assess you. I hope you guys took notes. So number 1, what is the first stage of digestion? This was mentioned at the beginning.
Mouth.
Correct. Dilara, what is the function of the digestive system?
To break down food.
And what else?
Convert to energy.
Okay, very good. Miss Cubio, how many liters is the small intestine? It's okay if you have a wrong answer. Just try to remember if you took note.
5 meters long, ma'am.
Correct. Okay, I'm going to ask people, or I'm going to ask if you know the answer, please open your mic. Anyone, please give me, what is this called?
Is that a mouth or
Correct. Mr. Anahao, please answer, what is this?
Esophagus.
Number 2, what is this? This tube right here, what is this?
Esophagus.
Yes, correct. Mr. Stomo, what is number 3? What is this? This bean-shaped organ.
Kailan sa third? The stomach.
Estomo, number 3.
Stomach.
Correct. Okay. Now we have I will provide this one for you guys because, so I can help. We have the large intestine. We have the small intestine. Okay, we have the anus.
anus?
Yes, okay. We're going to watch a video to learn more about the digestive system. It will feed your knowledge food. So let's pay attention.
Across the whole planet, humans eat on average between 1 and 2.7 kilograms of food a day. That's over 365 kilograms a year per person, and more than 28,800 kilograms over the course of a lifetime. And every last scrap makes its way through the digestive system. Comprised of 10 organs, covering 9 meters, and containing over 20 specialized cell types, this is one of the most diverse and complicated systems in the human body. Its parts continuously work in unison to fulfill a singular task, transforming the raw materials of your food into the nutrients and energy that keep you alive. Spanning the entire length of your torso, the digestive system has 4 main components. First, there's the gastrointestinal tract, a twisting channel that transports your food and has an internal surface area of between 30 and 40 square meters, enough to cover half a badminton court. Second, there's the pancreas, gallbladder, and liver, a trio of organs that break down food using an array of special juices. Third, the body's enzymes, hormones, nerves, and blood all work together to break down food, modulate the digestive process, and deliver its final products. Finally, there's the mesentery, a large stretch of tissue that supports and positions all your digestive organs in the abdomen, enabling them to do their jobs. The digestive process begins before food even hits your tongue. Anticipating a tasty morsel, glands in your mouth start to pump out saliva. We produce about 1.5 liters of this liquid each day. Once inside your mouth, chewing combines with the sloshing saliva to turn food into a moist lump called the bolus. Enzymes present in the saliva break down any starch. Then your food finds itself at the rim of a 25 centimeter long tube called the esophagus, down which it must plunge to reach the stomach. Nerves in the surrounding esophageal tissue sense the bolus's presence and trigger peristalsis, a series of defined muscular contractions. That propels the food into the stomach, where it's left at the mercy of the muscular stomach walls, which pound the bolus, breaking it into chunks. Hormones secreted by cells in the lining trigger the release of acids and enzyme-rich juices from the stomach wall that start to dissolve the food and break down its proteins. These hormones also alert the pancreas, liver, and gallbladder to produce digestive juices and transfer bile, a yellowish-green liquid that digests fat, in preparation for the next stage. After 3 hours inside the stomach, the once shapely bolus is now a frothy liquid called chyme, and it's ready to move into the small intestine. The liver sends bile to the gallbladder, which secretes it into the first portion of the small intestine, called the duodenum. Here, it dissolves the fats floating in the slurry of chyme so they can be easily digested by the pancreatic and intestinal juices that have leached onto the scene. These enzyme-rich juices break the fat molecules down into fatty acids and glycerol for easier absorption into the body. The enzymes also carry out the final deconstruction of proteins into amino acids and carbohydrates into glucose. This happens in the small intestine's lower regions, the jejunum and ileum, which are coated in millions of tiny projections called villi. These create a huge surface area to maximize molecule absorption and transference into the bloodstream. The blood takes them on the final leg of their journey to feed the body's organs and tissues. But it's not over quite yet. Leftover fiber, water, and dead cells sloughed off during digestion make it into the large intestine, also known as the colon. The body drains out most of the remaining fluid through the intestinal wall. What's left is a soft mass called stool. The colon squeezes this byproduct into a pouch called the rectum, where nerves sense it expanding and tell the body when it's time to expel the waste. The byproducts of digestion exit through the anus, and the food's long journey, typically lasting between 30 and 40 hours, is finally complete.
Again, let me ask, please open your mic, anyone. How long does it take? How long does the digestive system take?
30 to 40 hours, ma'am.
Good.
30 to 40 minutes.
40 hours.
Minutes?
Hours.
Hours?
Hours.
Let's play a game, guys. Let's play a digestive system game. It's an online simulation, but here you will learn more and you will test your own knowledge. So please, I will send this link sa meeting natin. Please click on it and play with me. Play this game para you will be able to test your learning. Click on it and kindly inform me if you cannot open or play the game, so I will assist. I will also play this game so I can participate. Loading. I hope you learned from my topic, and I hope that you will maintain a healthy diet to keep a healthy digestive system. Thank you for joining my class. That will be all. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am.
You're all dismissed.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have a blessed night, ma'am.